We're back on the 55 Nomad. Back from Tuktoyaktuk, Fredericton, Whitehorse, Stewart, all across the country and back. It is good to be back. So I'm back on the 55 Nomad for Lyle. We were sending pictures back and forth. Last I was here, did some repairs. He's got his frame ready now with the fancy new suspension, which I showed in one of the videos. We have a new fuel tank that's not stock. This spare tire carrier is in the way. I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to cut it off, throw that part away. I'm going to cut the bottom off here, and the frame sits up here, in here. So I'm going to move this up so that we have about a 4.5 inch deep toolbox. And driving across the country, you definitely find there's stuff you want to carry that you don't want sitting on upholstery. This is a Nomad, there's no trunk. So you want to carry a bottle jack, some wrenches, a duster, cleaning kit, whatever. We're going to have a little bit of a toolbox here under the floor. This is extremely valuable. So for now, I'm going to zip across. I'm going to cut the bottom out of it, get rid of it, and then I'm going to do a final trim on my height coming out of the floor. So just to show you, we're going to go about up here, and we're going to come down and straight across, and we'll just take this bottom couple inches off, put it to the side, and then the frame sits here on these parts, and there's rubber body mounts 3/4 of an inch. The fuel tank is going to stick up to about here, and this is all from between me and Lyle measuring and FaceTime in there. You get to see what you need to do. He's going to bring the whole frame up when I'm ready for it. So I'm going to cut this down around here all the way and move that floor up. Now once I get that done, this is the inner quarter. You can see all the shrinks they did. Someone did a ton of work on here. They could have done a bit more. It's a bit stretched out of shape. It does need a bunch more shrinking. And you see this inner panel, it's all body mangled. We're gonna fix that. But first thing, and then back here, someone did a repair years ago, right? All this is coming out. We've already done the other side, needs some more grinding. This inner rocker will replace most of it. So we've got about half of it done. This is how the Chevys 5, 6, 7 sealed against. They didn't actually have an inner quarter panel in here. They just had this rubber seal that sat against the quarter. And the same here. So I've got to straighten this out, all this, and then I've got to shrink this quarter in. And somewhere up in here, I've got to make room for a battery. So the battery you're going to access when you open up the rear deck lid. The battery is going to be sitting out in here, and that'll be sealed against the elements. So there is a bunch of stuff here to fix up. This car is in good shape. I have a couple body mounts still that I got to get broken bolts out of. Most of it was coming pretty good. But right now I'm going to set up, make some marks, and start zip cutting away. It is good to be working again. Holidays are great, but I'm glad to be back. And I'm gonna cut everything just a bit long. Let me get a black marker so I can see it better. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So now I've got to cut around the sides, but I want to make sure I'm out of this curve up onto the flat part. It makes it very easy to just slip it up to overlap wherever I cut it off. I might have to do some of this from the inside. Yeah, I'll have to move around inside. One of the bonuses of a rotisserie. Guess I better turn on some lights. So again, the idea, cut up high enough, it's straight walled. Pretty much there. Okay, so I'm going to take this, put it aside, and eventually, now I got to get rid of all the excess. Which should be simple. So, frame rail to frame rail. And I come up 2 inches. Then, that's where the top of the fuel tank is. So I'm going to come just a bit more. So if I go 3 inches, whoop, don't lose the spot. Let's see where that mark's at. Okay. Yep, that's 3 inches. So that's going to give me 4.5 inches. Perfect. I'll go around here, make a mark at 4.5 inches. I'm going to switch to a black felt. But anyhow, now you can see what I'm up to and why. I'll mark this up and then turn the camera back. So there we have the inside, rough trimmed. There's the lower, rough trimmed. So I think I'm going to run just a bit forward to give us a little bit more room. So now we'll fit the new piece up there and see how it shapes up. So, just rough. Okay, and what I'm looking at, I need 2 inches for the fuel tank. Well, there's 3/4 of an inch of a body mount down here, in here. So the fuel tank sticks up 2 inches and 3/4 of an inch is in the body mount, so 1.25 inches. So I gotta weld this up about there. So I gotta do some more trimming here. I might just fold the ends over just to rough fit it for now. That's what we're up to. Going to work splendid. I could just hammer that up. Might do that for now. Just do a zip so I can get that stuff out of the way. Yeah. Like so. And then I curve it in wherever it needs to be. There. Okay. Okay, I've got 3/4, need another 1/2 inch. So that all comes in here and here. So I'm going to do a lap weld on all of this. Again, you cut it long. So I can trim this back farther. I can drill spot welds and just spot weld it. I'll show you the inside because it doesn't look like much room, but this has got to go down a bit. This has got to come up. But you know, we're going to be in about here. Lots of room for a socket set, all kinds of stuff in there. So we'll carry on with fitting this. And I'll come back to you when I think I've discovered the happy spot. Let's see what we got. Three-quarters. What do we got here? Well, that looks like 1.25 inches. Plus the 3/4 body mount. And we have our 2 inches. That's 1 inch. Got to go up a quarter. Anyhow, you can see what's going on. I'll show you the other side. So you can see there is some depth to it. A little bit of bottle jack, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's 4 3/4 from the high spot. We're 4 here, but that's going to go back just a little. Yeah, so you can see that is some depth. Room for tools. So I will carry on fitting. Fitment is everything. And once I get that dialed in, then I'll make up a piece here. Just gives us a few extra inches. You'd have a torque wrench fit up in there, whatever. Anything is a bonus. So I'll carry on, show you what I get. Okay. Here's 2.5. There. Quarters. Okay. So that's 1 3/4. Half an inch for the body mount. That gives us 2 inches. Gives us a clearance above the fuel tank. I'm going to revisit the pictures, make sure that all makes sense. But if that's the case, all I have to do now is trim all of this punch holes and spot weld this to here and all the way around, and then I close in the front, and the floor goes back in from underneath. It won't jump out at anybody. You won't see it, covered by a fuel tank, but try to make it look untouched as possible. So far it's working out pretty nice. I am happy now. I have 2 inches plus the rubber will give 2.5, so I'll have a 1/2 inch clearance from the fuel tank. So I'm even across here. I've clamped it in place. I've marked on here. So now I pull this out. I'm going to hole punch along this edge, both sides. I'm going to clean up my edges. So I'm going to do spot welds along here, seam seal it from the inside, of course weld through primer, weld that in place. And once that is in place, then I will make up a short piece up front here. I may even fold this up farther to give me a little more room. Haven't decided, and it's not critical at this point. First thing, get this in and go from there. So we're looking pretty good. Perfect tacks. Right on. And then we'll hammer some of this in, shape it down just a bit to match up better with the top, which is flared out. So I'm real happy this is all even. I'm just going to grind it a bit smoother so we have a nice straight edge. You'll never see that. It doesn't matter. Like this, I have to decide. I'm going to fold it up just a little bit higher. I just keep thinking of this little torque wrench you put up in the front here or something, but that doesn't matter too much. But I do have to make sure I get them all primed before I carry on. So that's what I'll do right now. Okay, let that dry up, do our final fit and start welding. Shrinks. Finish welding. Gotta get my spoon. Alright. So all I left here now, I'm gonna make a piece that goes right up to the floor and comes down and welds on this edge. Get fancy now, break over, but I don't need to. So what it comes down to is do I still have proper room here? And I do. So we're good.